couple days ago, my son was he's excited for Doomsday and Spider-Man Brand New Day. He recently started wanting to watch all of the trilogy of films in the MCU for like every character that's had a trilogy. And of course, he started out with Spider-Man because that's his favorite character. But I made him watch the original Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and then I made him watch the Amazing Spider-Man, and then we watched the Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy. And then from there, he kind of surprised me because he wanted to watch Ant-Man. And, Ant-Mans are films that sometimes you just kind of forget about. And in forget, it's still on? Okay. No, it is on. Okay. All right, we'll see how this works. So my son wanted to watch the Ant-Man trilogies, and he figured out, um, you know, he knows about Kang and what was supposed to be Avengers Kang Dynasty. So we're rewatching the movies, and honestly, I, looking at some of the problems Marvel has had, the Ant Man movies. The problem with the Ant Man movies is that they're trying to mix a lot of different genres, but they wanted to keep it on the funny side because the character is Ant Man, and it's like if you're gonna do a comedy in the MCU, that would be the character to do it with. I have no problems with those decisions. I have no problems with those. Now, you have to make sure that they are funny. Like you got Paul Rudd, and he's not necessarily just focused on being funny. There's a lot of different elements that he had to kind of juggle. But I enjoy the Ant Man movies. You know, they're fun. They set up a lot of different things. But the reason why I'm making this video is for one specific part. And it's just funny to me. It's not a criticism. It's not, I'm not hating on Ant Man or anything. But we get to Quantumania, and I think it's hilarious that they kind of hint at the fact that Janet was busting it open down in the quantum realm. I mean, I've never heard anybody else bring this up or say, you know, but like they really hint at her being like, I don't want to say she's getting around, but like straight up like kind of getting around. And she's like, the funny thing about it is they're just like, yeah, I was down here for 30 years. So it's like, yeah. But man, it was like the way they did it, the way Bill Murray kind of was hinting at it, and then like he was hinting at another person, and then he hinted at Kang, and it was just like, what is going on? So then the funniest part about it though is that she's saying all this is coming out, and you got to remember the plot of the story is the fact that she didn't reveal or tell Cassie or Hope or anybody about anything about the quantum realm. It was almost like it was almost like like she was on the streets like she used to be a prostitute and didn't want to tell nobody her past, but then she keep all these different pimps keep popping up, and now that they're down there, she got to explain who each person is to these people. So and that goes way over kids' heads. I'm rewatching that and just remembering that, and I'm laughing my ass off, and they can't figure out why I'm laughing at Janet. So, and it's like, it's Michelle Pfeiffer. So it's like, it's not like totally unbelievable that that's the case. But, bruh, like if you go back and watch that movie, they hint literally about three, four, maybe five times a different, I don't even say people, because technically down in the quantum room, all of those wasn't people. And it's like, it didn't even matter to her. So that's funny to me. But, I, they get into trouble with that movie because it breaks a lot of the rules they established. I think part of the problem that a lot of people have with that movie is the inconsistencies. Like you could tell they always talk about I got this 10-year plan, I got this 10-year plan, and plans change. But when we were first introduced to the quantum realm in the first Ant-Man and then in the second Ant-Man, they it did not it didn't function the way it did in the third movie when they wanted to give Janet this whole history of being down there and everything. I mean, you have to remember the whole plot device behind Avengers Endgame was the fact that Scott could go down in the quantum realm and time didn't pass for him like it did for us. So 5 years for us was like 5 minutes for him. Yet Janet was down there for 30 years and it was just down her being down there for 30 years and she was older. Inconsistencies. Um, it's things like that, those inconsistencies that kind of really messed that movie up and really hurt the MCU overall because they they just they have so much riding on those plot points and then to just have them changed or rearranged. Now, the handling of MODOK was something else I wasn't a fan of. Um, I mean, it made sense within the Ant-Man trilogy, but I kind of wish they would have just, if they were going to do MODOK, just make MODOK the villain and not Kang, and maybe make Kang behind the scenes and hint at him so that once we got to Kang Dynasty, it'd be a bigger thing. But the fact that you had Ant-Man and the Wasp go up against Kang and defeat him, at that point there was no need for an Avengers movie. And the fact that they Hollywoodized it and the fact that he was just punching him and Kang's supposed to be so powerful, but they sit up here fighting like two human beings. And unless you plan on killing Ant-Man in his own movie, then that was just a bad decision. Because Kang, he can't hint at the fact that he's killed Avengers before, but then gets beat by Ant-Man. So leave it to Peyton Reed, I guess, right? They gave Peyton Reed the keys to the kingdom. Look, if anything, if you were gonna do your third Ant-Man movie before Kang Dynasty, and you're setting up the team and everything, you're bringing in Cassie as she's older. Why not set that up more to be Cassie and maybe have brought in, Ironheart or some of the champions or whatnot, try to pull them into the story somehow. Maybe not have the whole movie in the quantum realm. Like maybe make MODOK come out of the quantum realm if you're gonna make it Darren Cross. Maybe make him come out of the quantum realm or get out somehow. And then like that's Kang was down there and you can hint at that and set that up with Janet. And then just be like, okay, so now he's coming. MODOK figured out how to get out. Now he's getting out. And then you could have had them fighting MODOK for most of the movie. But I don't know. Tell me what your thoughts is. I already know most people hate Quantumania, but it has its purpose, and most of it is funny unintentionally. All right, y'all. Till next time.